Hello everyone! How classic cars around the world have become objects of madness for millionaires, billionaires, and collectors willing to pay huge sums. Today we have prepared a list of the 10 most expensive cars ever sold at auction. Let's go! Mercedes-Benz 540K Special Roadster. In 1936, Mercedes-Benz unveiled the luxurious 540K Coupe at the Paris Auto Show, which stood out among its competitors for its progressive design. Under the hood was an 8-cylinder carbureted engine with a displacement of 330 cubic inches. In its standard mode, it produced up to 115 horsepower, but with the installed supercharger, which could be activated manually or when the accelerator was fully pressed, the power could reach 180 horsepower. The car could accelerate to 106 miles per hour. In 2012, a Mercedes-Benz 540K Special Roadster with only 3 owners was sold at the Gooding auction for $11,800,000. Alfa Romeo 8C 2300 Monza. The Alfa Romeo 8C 2300 was developed by the company's chief designer Vittorio Jano, based on the experience gained from the previous model, the 1750. The first 8C 2300 model was released in 1931 and featured a 2.3-liter engine with a displacement of 142 cubic inches, designed for racing. A total of 188 units of the road version were produced, initially named the 8C 2300 Spyder. Behind the wheel of this model, Tazio Nuvolari won the Targa Florio races in 1931 and 1932. In 2016, one of the 1931 Alfa Romeo 8C 2300 Monza models was sold at the Gooding auction for $12 million. Jaguar E-Type few can match the legendary status of the Jaguar E-Type, which twice won the 24 Hours of Le Mans. In the 1950s, it became known as the XK120, which made waves in 1948 thanks to its revolutionary supercharged engine. The engine was a 6-cylinder with 3 Weber carburetors and a displacement of 210 cubic inches, producing 220 horsepower. In 2015, the Jaguar E-Type Works Lightweight was sold at RM Sotheby's for $13,200,000. This car finished 4th in the 24 Hours of Le Mans in 1953. Shelby 260 Cobra at the RM Sotheby's auction in California, held on August 19, 2016, the first example of the legendary Shelby Cobra sports car, owned by the car's creator Carroll Shelby, was sold. Replicas of the Shelby Cobra have been produced by many companies and continue to be made, but original models from the 1960s are the most valuable, often fetching millions at auction. The initial price of this Shelby 260 Cobra on the RM Sotheby's website was listed as priceless. Ultimately, the first Shelby Cobra sold for a record-breaking $13,750,000. This car is valued for its history, as it was hand-built by Carroll Shelby himself in early 1962 in California. Shelby owned the car for 5 to 10 years until his death in 2012. The legendary Shelby brand began with this car, which had a Ford engine with a displacement of 260 cubic inches and an output of 260 horsepower, allowing the Roadster to accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 4.2 seconds and reach a top speed of about 155 miles per hour. Ferrari 275 is a coupe that debuted in October 1964 at the Paris Motor Show. It was equipped with a 3.3-liter V12 engine that produced 280 horsepower. The working volume of one cylinder was approximately 275 cubic centimeters, which gave the model its numerical index in the name. In addition to standard road cars, limited editions of racing cars known as the Ferrari 275 GTS were produced. These cars featured specially tuned engines, larger fuel tanks, lightweight body and suspension components, and so on. A total of 454 cars were manufactured, including racing versions. In 2017, a 1966 Ferrari 275 GTS was sold at the Gooding auction for $14.5 million. Ferrari 250 LM became a representative of a new trend in racing in the early 60s, as mid-engine models started gaining popularity. It was a worthy successor to the record set by the racing version of the Ferrari 250 GTO. The car had an elegant body designed by Pininfarina, as well as a modernized engine and chassis. Its design utilized parts and components from the Ferrari 250 GTO, with the engine volume increased to 3.3 liters and power rising to 320 220 horsepower. The Ferrari 250 LM won at Le Mans, and in 1965, plans were made to begin series production, but it failed to gather enough orders. A 1964 model, driven by the legendary racer, was sold at the RM auction in 2015 for $17.6 million. Ferrari 250 GT SWB California Spyder is an undeniable work of art among Ferrari's 250 series cars. These models embodied incredible technical and design solutions for their time. They were produced from the mid-50s to the late 60s and got their name from the cylinder volume of 250 cubic centimeters. The letters GT in the name stand for Gran Turismo, while SWB indicates a short wheelbase of 94.5 inches. All Ferrari 250 GT SWB California Spyders were equipped with a 3-liter engine producing 277 horsepower. The engine, designed by Gioacchino Colombo, provided the car with impressive performance. It could accelerate to 62 miles per hour in about 4.5 seconds, reaching a top speed of 149 miles per hour. The most expensive example of this 1961 model was sold at the Art Curial auction in 2015 for $18.5 million. Jaguar D-Type is a sports racing car produced by Jaguar from 1954 to 1957. It was equipped with a 3.5-liter 6-cylinder engine with 3 carburetors, generating 265 horsepower. The car weighed 2,683 pounds and could accelerate to 62 miles per hour in 4.7 seconds, reaching a top speed of 149 miles per hour. A total of 54 Jaguar D-Types were made. At the RM Sotheby's auction in 2016, a 1955 example was sold for $21.8 million. This model won at Le Mans in 1956 and remains the only car that won races in the SE series, as the other examples have not survived. Aston Martin DBR1 was sold at the RM Sotheby's auction in the USA in 2017 for $22.55 million. Only 5 of these sports cars were produced, and this example was the first. Legends of motorsport such as Carroll Shelby, Jack Brabham, and Sterling Moss drove it. In 1959, this sports car won the 24 Hours of Le Mans. The Aston Martin DBR1 is equipped with a 3-liter inline 6-cylinder engine, which has been modified several times over the past 60 years. The current output of the engine is about 300 horsepower. Ferrari 250 GTO is a Gran Turismo class car produced by Ferrari from 1962 to 1964 for participation in GT class races. At the time of its release, its price was $18,000, and the buyer had to be approved by Enzo Ferrari personally and his representative in North America, Luigi Cinetti. The sportiest version of this car was equipped with a 4-liter engine producing 330 horsepower. The Ferrari 250 GTO rarely appears at auctions. However, a 1962 sports car was sold in 2014 for $38.1 million. It has been reported that another 1962 Ferrari 250 GTO is planned to be auctioned at RM Sotheby's in Monterey in August 2018, with an estimated value of $45 million. That's all, friends. Thank you for watching. Please leave a comment about which car you liked the most, and don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel to not miss new exciting episodes.